ZipFit. It's hard to go more than like 30 seconds on Instagram, YouTube, wherever without seeing these very colorful, bright liners. But are these actually good or overpriced, overmarketed ski boot liners? After all, with boot liners that start at around $500, these are more than I am spending on my ski boots when I buy them in the off season. What could possibly make a boot liner cost more than an actual ski boot? Well, I decided to buy a pair and find out what all the fuss is about. Now, first off, I was not paid by anyone to do this review. I don't take money from any ski brand on any wavelength in any way. I do have affiliate links down below, so if you decide to buy these, I will put those down, and that is a free way of you guys supporting me and allowing me to make these independent reviews without having to kind of doll up how I review things. So if you're interested in buying these or buying any other product similar, I'll also have links down for Intuition. That's how you know I'm independent. ZipFit wouldn't like that very much. But if you want to support the channel and you're interested in buying it, please use those affiliate links because that helps support the channel without costing you guys anything extra. Now, without further ado, let's get into the review because I have a lot to say about these. Now, if you're wondering what makes these different from your traditional liners, a couple of things. One, you've got the straps that not every base liner has that kind of gives you a tighter fit. You also have this Velcro to kind of keep everything in place around the shin. You have a softer material, and then you have cork surrounding these, which gives them a little bit more of a long break-in period, but also more comfort and less kind of pressure points throughout the day. The liner doesn't kind of pinch or get bunched up. And when I first read that online, I thought it was kind of baloney, but I did find that this cork did deliver a higher performing boot liner. But now let's talk about how it actually felt on snow. Now, first impressions with these liners weren't great, honestly. These are $500, which I couldn't even fathom spending that much on these. I also reached out to ZipFit directly as well as Intuition, and Intuition was willing to send me the product. They were so confident in it. ZipFit, I had kind of a negative interaction with whoever runs their social media. They said, oh, well, we don't like working with influencers. We're good. We're having no problem selling these, which is fine. Like, I get that, but the kind of messages back and forth were very like confrontational, and I don't know. I was just like, hey, I'm just, trying to get my hands on this product. If I could send it back, I would. I don't really need new liners, or I don't like owning a lot of things. But with boot liners, there's really no good way to send it back, so I kind of understand. And also, you can make a whole montage of all of the influencers that they do work with. The other reason I was distrustful of these is exactly that. There are so many influencers talking about how great this is, which is not a problem in and of itself, but when I see something heavily marketed on social media, it makes me skeptical of the product. Or just a lot of the influencers who talk about this stuff, they have never once said a negative thing about a single product. When everything's good, nothing is. You could throw a dart at a dartboard at which influencer I'm even talking about. But when you have people who are positive about everything, an endorsement of a product like this means very little to me. So I wasn't able to get my hands on these through ZipFit. What did I do? What any obsessed person would do. I went on eBay for months and months and months. I completed their online form, figured out my size, figured out which model I needed, and then scourged through eBay until I found a pair of these listed for $300. Like any sane person, I offered them $180, and Bob's your uncle, they showed up at my door with spending $203 after tax and shipping. So I spent my own money for this review. This is completely my independent thoughts on it. Let's talk about how they actually felt when I used them. And it's no hyperbole, these were absolutely life-changing. I love this product. I think first, maybe in order to save time, let's talk about the cons, and then because there's really just a few kind of nitpicks and things that I found annoying in kind of the process of breaking them in and getting them to work. And then we'll talk about the pros because I think that will make just more logistical sense. But all in all, I found this product to be overwhelmingly comfortable. It eliminated aches and pains that I have had lifelong in wearing ski boots, and I cannot recommend this enough. But let's get into the details so you can actually know if this is going to be a good product for you, because there are other alternatives that I think make sense for different use cases. And as always, like, no product is perfect, so if you are interested in buying it, you want to know about the drawbacks. That's the problem with people being so positive all the time. Every product has drawbacks, and this is no exception. So The first drawback is these are an absolute pain in the butt to break in. They take longer than other liners, and they don't play nicely with other footbeds. I had normal footbeds and then low volume footbeds, and they really, really need a specific low volume footbed. So I don't know. I found that other liners that I used third party played with footbeds better than these. These were an absolute pain in the butt to get dialed in, and with all of the cork that they use along the sides of it, it just took longer to break in and get it molded to my foot. And I even did the whole heat molding process. And I will say, as much as I had a negative interaction with the people at ZipFit on Instagram, when I called them, they were super nice. I was like, hey, you know, I know I didn't buy these new from you guys. They're like, no, we don't care. We'll help you. Here's how you fit them. You know, don't go longer than this. You want to kind of let it coast, and this is how you break it in. I was very, very appreciative with just how nice the people were on the phone, and that just goes to show you first impressions aren't everything. The other downside that can't be ignored is these are pricey, and I think for somebody who is skiing less than like 20 days a year, it's really not worth shelling that much money out. And honestly, you know, like if your boot shell doesn't work, this isn't a magic fix. I would not buy this until you have your ski boots fitted properly, and then this will improve that. But this is not a like magic fix-all. You need your baseline boot to be well fitted, the right flex, all of that stuff still needs to happen in order for you to get the most out of this product. So don't skimp on the boots, and if you're not skiing that many days, just spend the money on the boots and maybe allocate your budget in other ways. This is really an enthusiast product for high mileage users, but those people do get a large benefit. But just so you know, right, if you're skiing 10, 15 days, I don't know, you're gonna spend the first 3 of those breaking these in anyway. So unless you absolutely have to have the most dialed in fit for those 10 days, I would probably just make sure the boot overall fits well, and maybe save your money for other things. The last downside is I found, especially early on in the break-in, these are kind of painful to get on. I have finally gotten to a spot where I can slip them on, but if your foot is even like slightly twisted with these, they are really, really difficult to get on and get your foot kind of slid in. Especially if you do the part where you like kind of lace it up and then put it into the shell. I just find that like, if you already have a hard time getting your boots on, this will make it more difficult. And it just takes extra time. Like, it is kind of a pain to like pull the laces, get the Velcro. There are days where I may only get an hour to ski, and spending 5 to 10 minutes of that dealing with these liners is worth it for performance, but a downside for sure. I did find that that got easier with time once they got broken in, and by the end of it, I have just gotten so used to it that I can leave it in the shell. Obviously, I dry them out every now and again, but I can leave it in the shell, pull this open, slide my foot in, pull up the laces, do the Velcro, and I'm able to keep these in the shell and still get them comfortable. I just found that the secret was, once you've gotten them on, just really pulling up on this tongue to get things resituated helps a lot, and pulling this string tight so that everything locks in into the shell and stays out of the shell's way so that it's not keeping it from being kind of clasped down. The other downside is that there's not a great way to put on your spoilers. I did find that I didn't need spoilers with these, but they're kind of naturally more forward anyway. But you know, if you're somebody that absolutely needs spoilers, the trick I found is to undo this strap, put them behind the strap, and have them kind of stay in that way. But I don't know, is it really too much to ask for a little bit of Velcro back here? But again, these are very minor nitpicks. We'll get into the positives because this is overwhelmingly a fantastic product. All right, now hang on to your seats because I have a lot of positive things to say, which is maybe uncharacteristic of me. I don't know. When stuff's good, you gotta know that it's good. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter being negative or positive. When something's good, I'm gonna tell you that too. So, once you get them broken in, the performance is noticeably better. I feel like I can pin turns more easily. They're more comfortable on my shins when I'm carving. The end of the day, the boots actually feel more comfortable with the cork. Like, I can ski comfortably for longer than I can in my baseline liners, which is phenomenal, right? If you're skiing 4 to 6 hours in a day, that makes a big difference. You're not kind of like humming and hawing and, oh, I don't know if I can do more runs. Your feet feel good at the end of the day, which is awesome. Normally, I unbuckle my boots at the end of the day to kind of let them breathe, especially when I ski in the woods. This is the first time with a ski boot I haven't had to do that. I can leave these on, leave them buckled, and don't feel like I need to let the sides of my feet breathe. It is a phenomenal difference. The big one is that skiing in the woods, the side of my feet don't hurt. For my entire life skiing, when I've skied in the woods, when I've skied in powder, when I'm just kind of doing quick turns, the sides of my feet always hurt, always. And I always have to unbuckle my boots, kind of let them breathe a little bit, but I always get kind of bang on the sides of my feet when I'm skiing, especially when you're skiing in powder and aggressive hop turns and you just have to get a lot of swing in your skis. For the first time ever, I did not feel aches on the sides of my feet. I felt like I was able to ski longer in the day, and that alone makes these liners worth it for me. So what would I give these for a score? God, I mean, they're pricey. 500 bucks? Yeah. Oh man, it's outrageous. These are so expensive. Like I said, if you're skiing, I don't know, pick a number, right? 20 to 30 days or less a year, maybe pass on these. I don't know. I don't know that you're gonna get your money's worth, or it would take you a lot of years to get your money's worth. That being said, if you put in a lot of mileage on them, they are peak comfort. This is the most comfortable way of getting into your ski boot that I've found. I will say, if you're looking for bang for your buck, the Intuition liners get you about 90% of the way there for, you know, about half the price. But then again, like, those didn't eliminate my side-to-side pain the way that these did. And, you know, I felt like I could get an extra hour out of these compared to those. I don't think you need to compare these to Intuition. I think that, like, if you're kind of thinking about aftermarket liners, Intuition is a really good place to start. And if you are, you know, getting a ton of mileage, it's hard to say no to these. They're very pricey. I don't love the way they're advertised. I saw some people online talking about how much warmer these are than other liners. I mean, that to me feels like mostly hogwash. Maybe someone has a different experience. I don't live in the coldest area right now, but I found all in all that these weren't any warmer than any other boot liners. But for the comfort alone, for eliminating lifelong pain I've had on the sides of my feet, and for giving me more comfortable shins in the beginning of the season, for giving me an extra 2-3 hours of skiing, for making it so I don't have to unbuckle my boots to let the sides of my feet kind of breathe, for giving me extra performance in my carving. It's not a ton, right? It's probably like 10-15%. But my God, this is a wonderful product. It's definitely on the pricey end, but you are getting what you pay for. And these are supposed to last longer than most liners, so hypothetically, you should be able to take them shell to shell. I have obviously only had these for one season, so it's impossible to test. But even buying a used pair, I was very happy for the performance. I will not go back to my default liners. These will be staying in my shells, and that is the biggest endorsement I can give a product. I like this product. It's worth the extra time strapping up for me. It is pricey, but my God, eliminating some of that pain I've always suffered with and just kind of thought that's what ski boots are really changed my perspective on these. Getting the product dialed in can be a little bit tedious, but the overall performance you get with that extra effort pays dividends in the long run. So for me, I'm gonna give these a 9.6 out of 10. I do think they're a little bit pricey for what they are, and it is hard because boot manufacturers aren't willing to just sell you a shell. You have to buy the full boot and then buy these. So it always feels a little bit wasteful to just have a liner sitting there. And I think that if bang for your buck you're looking for something, you could get a Remind insole, a booster strap for, you know, a fraction of the cost of these and get more bang for your buck. But if you're looking for the absolute best fit, best performance, best comfort, this is the product for that. This is a tremendous product. I would highly recommend it. If you are a high mileage skier, I'd recommend this to any friend or family of mine personally if they are a high mileage skier. If you're not skiing that much, you may not be able to get your value out of it quick enough. But for me, this is now going to be a new staple product for me that I will not ski without. I absolutely love these liners. I wasn't sent them by ZipFit. I'm not paid by anyone. This is just my honest opinion. I don't give endorsements out willy-nilly, but in this case, this is a darn good product, and I will continue to use it going forward. I absolutely love this product, and I'm so grateful that it eliminated pain. Now, I'm not sure if everyone's side of their feet pain is going to be eliminated. Ski boots are very complex. It's not an exact science like this is a fix-all for everyone. But for me personally, this was more comfortable. It allowed me to ski longer, and I don't think I'm going to be able to ski without these now. I mean, obviously I'd live, right? And when I travel, I don't think it'd be worth it to do the extra work. But for high mileage skiing, this is going to be a staple of what I use day to day, and I can't give it any better endorsement than that. So anyway, shout out ZipFit. You guys didn't send me the product, and you were kind of annoying at first. But thank you for at least helping me troubleshoot and get these molded and fitted, even though I didn't buy the product directly from you guys. I appreciate you giving me support for your product down the line. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. If you think you might want to buy these or a pair of Intuitions, I will have affiliate links down below. That's a free way of supporting independent reviews. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. It means a ton to me, and I'm always humbled that you guys take time out of your day to watch this kind of content. I hope you found this insightful. It's a little bit different than skis, but I gotta say, I was totally caught off guard by how much I like these. For a high price point, they really had a high bar to clear, and they cleared it with zero issues. So thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.